And perfect. We're live again. We had some video connection issues. So I want to ask you while you're on the phone, I want to ask you this. With your emotional context, what are you most fearful about when it comes to being in front of that judge or being on the phone with that judge for this hearing?
Basically the unknown, just being credible, just not knowing.
Mm-hmm. So walk me through this. You're not sure about something. Is it that you're not sure as to whether you're going to be found disabled or not disabled? Or is this a situation where you're just kind of like, I don't know what to expect? And I guess the question I have for you is, do you even know what disability benefits are?
No, I don't.
Disability benefits, just so you know, the most basic, simple instruction of it is where essentially you get a check every month. You also get back pay. And then on top of that, you also get to have health insurance for the rest of your life, which is amazing. So that's really, really good. So kind of the bottom line here is you're fighting for the best product in the world. You know, some people say a Harley motorcycle is. Some people say a Mercedes or a BMW car is. Some people say a Kubota tractor is. But for you, the best thing you can have is a check every month and health insurance for the rest of your life, right?
Right.
So that is exactly what you're trying to achieve. That is exactly what you're trying to obtain. Now, in your case, my first thing that I would try to do is go ahead and grid you out. Now, has the attorney that is representing, you know, where are you located? Are you in Florida? Are you in Georgia? Are you in Kentucky? California?
Yes, I'm in Florida.
Okay, cool. Has your attorney purchased your school records yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, so what's important here is your attorney's going to need to grid you out, which means she's going to need your education records. She's going to need some sort of note from your prior jobs that says you can't do them anymore. Something that says, you know, you had difficulty or they tried to give you a helping hand or they tried to give you accommodations. You're also going to need some sort of ID that shows your age, which, you know, make sure you have that and you've submitted it that way. It's on file. It should already be on file, but that's part of the whole grid process. And then you need something to show, okay, that basically you're unable to go ahead and do standing jobs. That's a light job. Or sitting jobs, right? That's a sitting job, right? 6 out of 8 hours you're sitting, 2 out of 8 you're standing and or walking. So here's what I want to know. With this, are you Orlando based or somewhere else?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Do you mind if I ask which judge you have?
George Borchick.
Okay.
Borchick.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let me do it this way. Here's the things that you need to get immediately, like yesterday. Now, are you being represented by like a smaller attorney law firm or like a big box firm?
Small.
Okay. Here are the things that you need to go push them to get. You need to get a walker with a seat because of your difficulties with walking. You need to go ahead and get a 4-prong cane or 1-prong cane. You need to go ahead and get a shower stool. These are all good things that'll help you with your ambulation because if you can't walk that far, they'll help you in life too with getting from point A to point B. That's objective evidence to show that you do in fact need some sort of structured physical device to assist you with walking. Now you're also going to need to go ahead and request an recent medical imaging of your back. Now, when was the last time you had an X-ray or some sort of medical imaging of your back?
I had an MRI in February of this year.
Okay. Okay. Now, walk me through this. What did it say?
It said that I had cervical degenerative disc disease with radical spinal stenosis.
Mm-hmm. Now, did it say that it was moderate? Did it say it was, you know, because the standards of severity are as follows. You have trace, which is hardly any. Mild, which is something's there. Moderate, which is something there, but it's not really severe. Then you got severe/marked. You're having difficulty doing functional tasks at a very high level. And then you have extreme, which means you can basically not do tasks. So you walk me through. What did it say? How bad did it say your back actually was?
It's no compression, but the canal is the cervical canal is pressing on. It pressing on. It said she just told me the compression wasn't bad, but the canal of it is where they feel like I need to have some type of surgery, fusion.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so here's what I would say at this point. Go ahead and have your attorney run questions with you. You still have some time because it's in October to go ahead and get things rolling. My big thing is this. You're going to need to go get some orthopedic devices to assist you with your ambulation. Don't forget the special shoes if you can get them with insoles. Also, you're going to need to go ahead and show consistently why you have these back problems, what's going on, figure out any and all ways that you can prove based upon your record that you cannot do functional tasks, especially for a standing job and also for a sitting job. The other thing that I want you to look into is, basically see if you can get a letter from your prior job that says why you couldn't do the job or why you had to quit or what was going on. Because that'll be good evidence to show element 4 why you'd no longer be able to do the jobs you once did. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Madame, I will catch you a little bit later. Have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, I know we don't have everybody back. Cheyenne, if you could go ahead and post a thing on the website, YouTube, that says, hey, we're now over here. One of those kind of gigs, that would be super helpful. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and call the next person who we can't be on the phone with for too long because we have somebody calling in at 9. Let's see if we can get that person back on the phone. Either she's trying to call in. Let me see if I can get her. Howdy, madame. We are right now live on YouTube. What I need you to do is I need you to use a fake name. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you about your emotional state because you just had your hearing today. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Indeed. All right. So, madame, walk me through this without using your real name. What were the emotions you felt this morning when I called and said, ring, 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 the hearing's coming. Are you ready?
I was very anxious. I was happy and sad and like a whole mixture of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, as the hearing went on, I started to feel a little calmer. Because like you were walking me through things and you were like, just asking me the questions again when I couldn't understand them or couldn't hear them. So I was very grateful for that. And I just wanted to let you know after you called me that I was very happy and I was very grateful for you being my lawyer.
Thank you, madame. Thank you. I super now. Let me get your take on your emotional state after the hearing. What were you feeling after the hearing?
My feelings were good. Like I felt like I finally accomplished it. I wasn't anxious or high strung right then. I wasn't panicky or felt like I was going to flop on anything. So that was a good thing. Good.
How did the judge make you feel about things?
Relatively all right. I mean, I thought things were going to go a lot worse. Like she was going to be a lot meaner, but she actually was very understanding, which made me feel a little more at ease once she started talking to me.
Excellent. Were there any questions in that hearing that caught you off guard?
A couple actually. Like when you had to ask me about what were the symptoms of my panic attacks and what were the symptoms of being a rape victim, you know, because after so long you try to block it out, and every panic attack is actually different. So, but other than that, everything was okay.
Good. Now, tell me about this. The you know, after the hearing, usually people are still pretty hyped up. How long did it take for you to kind of come down off of that, like, really exhilarated feeling and the really anxious feeling? How long did it take for you to come down?
About an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Okay. And then once you finally came down off of that anxiety high, what were some of the emotions that you felt?
I felt like, wow, this is really happening. You know, I was just thinking about all the things that I could finally do to you know, finally take care of myself, like get my teeth fixed and, you know, pay my rent on time and like finally be able to buy enough groceries for the month and things like that.
These are all excellent things. Madame, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Any other details or any questions that you have for me?
No, but I did want to add, like, if, you know, anybody ever were to get a lawyer, like, I'm so glad that you were my lawyer, and I hope that they get you, you know what I mean? Because you really walk people through and you don't just throw them to the wolves. You know, that's usually like the worst case scenario with people.
Yeah. And it's sad too, because if people knew your backstory, they would feel...
they'd probably want to cry.
Yeah, they definitely would cry. You know, when you read through the doctor's notes. Oh, did I hear somebody in the background?
Yes, that is my mother.
Oh,
she
howdy.
Says, hi.
Howdy.
Okay,
Howdy. How are we doing? How are you doing?
She's doing good.
Is there a little brother there as well?
No, he's actually at his godparents right now.
Oh, okay. Good.
Know.
Excellent. Well,
That's where he lived at.
You know, I'm really glad everything went really well, and it is such a horrible, difficult thing of what you went through with your life. And you know, the amazing thing for me is that you survived through all of that, and unlike most people, you didn't continue down that bad path. You didn't continue to do those things that you were doing, and you pulled back from all that and said, okay, what do I value more? And you said you valued your relationship.
Great relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm really glad that you're the family lawyer. Like, I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. You know, I was so, you know, I was so guys, here's the thing. You know, my big thing is I'm really hoping the judge is going to find in your favor. That would make 3 for 3 of the family. And my big thing here is, if you ever get a chance to name a cat after me. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yes, I will name a cat after you.
There you go. That's perfect. Perfect. I'll donate food to the Walter cat. You have no issues there. I'll make sure that that's a fat cat. But sounds good, guys. I will catch you later, and have a wonderful night. And thank you so much for calling in. You know.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, so that was actually, you got a treat there. You didn't just get one guest, you got 2 guests. And the first guest was somebody who's recently found disabled. And the second guest was somebody who just had their hearing today, which is incredible. So I had a couple hearings today. That was actually the last hearing of the day. And, you know, that was one that I personally really want to see this individual go through, because and I know you guys all have a backstory, and I know it's a tough backstory and things like that, but it's not as bad as this backstory. This is a survival story, a literal survival story, not like a cute, like as you were saying, you know, Tom Hanks playing a movie, you know, survival story. This is like a life or death survival story where everything is going against you. And she chose to have a better relationship with her mother over all the negative things in her life. And that pushed her to this moment where now, more important than even these disability benefits, she's going to have a great, great life going forward. I missed a call. Let's see. Okay, perfect. We have another caller. Let's go ahead and get this rolling. Okay. Let me pop over here. Let me pop over here. It's like, let me see if this is, hold on. Let me see real quick what we've got here. Okay. I think this is it. Yeah, this is probably it. Okay, perfect. Let me get this guy on the phone, then we'll be rolling. Let's see what's going on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. Are you ready to go on to the live show? Perfect, good sir. One moment. Remember to go ahead and use a fake name throughout this process. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask you the big question. Do you want me to run hearing questions with you, or do you want me to answer a particular question that you have about your claim?
I have some questions about my claim, and plus I wanted to go over my case.
Okay.
And just, I'm not sure. Is this live right now?
This is live right now.
Because I'm looking at a picture of you on the computer, and you're talking to somebody else.
Oh, you know what? So when we first started, oh, sorry, I'm sending a text right now. When we first started, the video wasn't working properly. So if you click out of that video and look for a current live video, you should be able to go ahead and basically, log into that. So the video you're watching right now is it should be of us talking right now. So click out of that one and see if there's a more recent one.
That's okay. I won't look at the video. I'll just talk to you.
Okay, perfect. So good, sir. What is the question that you have?
First of all, I wanted to go over my case, and then I was wondering if you could tell me whether I'm giving too much information or not enough information. I talked to you over the phone today. I don't know if you remember me.
That's right. Hold on. Let me put you on regular phone. What I'm going to do is tell me what email you sent that to. That way I can pull up the fact pattern. Yeah, what email did your fact pattern come from? Like, which one did you send to me? Oh, geez, I don't know if it's going to show up on this computer. It should. It has all the things. It was S. It's not showing up right now. Okay, I tell you what. Try that one. What email is that one? Yeah, email me right now. That'd be perfect. Okay, perfect. I'm putting you back on speakerphone. We're now back on the live microphone. Excellent. Go ahead and email me right now. And while you are emailing me, go ahead and ask me the question.
Okay. I have I'm dealing with bipolar disorder and severe anxiety and severe depression, and I have things written down here because I have problems with my memory, so I write things down so I can remember things. I don't know if that's proper to do that at the hearing.
Okay. So you're not going to be writing things down probably at the hearing in a normal setting. I mean, you could try that, but a lot of the judges will say remove the paper. They just want to go ahead and interact with you mentally. But since you have an over the phone hearing, and how far off is your hearing?
Next week.
Okay. And let me ask you this. So this is obviously going to be a telephonic hearing. So in that case, you can write things down. Now, remember, the better you remember things that you're interacting with the judge, the more the judge is likely to think that you don't have a mental memory-based issue.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
So the more you're writing things down, the better off you're going to be for remembering things, which is not really the thing that you want to go ahead and show to the judge. You want to show the judge your oral abilities with receiving information and then giving it back.
Uh-huh.
So, okay.
Okay.
So that's just something to consider there.
Okay, I just sent you that email.
Okay, let me check. Okay. I see a test email. Okay, gotcha. I'm scrolling up. Let me see what else I can find here. Okay, so it's just this little paragraph, right?
Yeah, it's just a paragraph.
Okay, perfect. You know what? I think there was another email with more information because that was your response email. Can you send me the original email that you sent to me back in the day? Because I just talked to you on the phone and the relax, it's a good claim response email, but I don't have the original email.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And for all the YouTubers out there, sorry about this. We will get back to rolling through questions shortly. So we're just getting the fact pattern up and rolling.
And just what is your email address? How does it start?
It's info@disability resolution.
Disability resolution?
Yep, you got it.
I'm sorry, this is the problem. So if you could just spell out what it is.
Sure. It's info.
The email address.
Sure, it's info, INFO, at disability. Yep, disabilityresolution.com. Again, info, INFO, at disabilityresolution.com.
Okay, I just sent it. Hopefully that works.
Okay, I'll wait for it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Now, did you send me the original email? Because I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing. All right. Well, I tell you what. Go ahead and walk me through the facts that I need to know or what you think is important, and then ask me the question that you have.
Okay. What I would like to know, you mentioned that writing things down may not be the correct thing to do, but like I said, I forget things, and if I go over these notes that I have, maybe it may not sound like I'm reading, but because I just have bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
And
gotcha.
If you can just give me some feedback as to whether it's the right way to do it, or should I just do it off my memory?
Well, look, here's the thing. You have to show the judge the mental impairments that you have. If you have a memory issue, that's incredibly important because it shows your inability to do higher SVP-based jobs, which are higher, skill set learning jobs, meaning they take longer for you to be able to learn. So an SVP1 is a short demonstration. SVP9 is 10 plus years to learn how to do the job. So the big focus here with your particular situation is, do you go ahead and make lists and graphs and use all your memory techniques to get through this hearing? Or do you just say to the judge over and over, Your Honor, I'm not sure, I forget, I'm not sure? And that's kind of what you're facing, correct? That dilemma?
Can you repeat the last part again?
Sure. So basically, you're faced with the issue of, okay, do I go ahead and keep saying to the judge over and over and over again that basically I can't remember anything? Or is it one of those things where you use notes to keep you on track?
I take notes to keep me on track.
So that's what you normally do, right?
just normal, you said?
That's what you normally do, correct?
Not on it. No, I mean, if I'm doing a presentation in front of people, or if and I need to remember a lot of stuff, that's what I do. I make bullet points and then go from there. Because if I'm talking in front of people, I have this severe anxiety, and my mind just goes blank, and I can't. The words won't come out, and I can't think of anything. And I'm afraid that that's what might happen when I'm at the hearing, or the phone hearing.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. You realize that the questions are going to come at you pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, I kind of gathered that, yes.
Okay. So what that means is that you're not going to have lots of time to look back over your notes. So, I mean, if we ran some questions real quick, you'd probably be able to figure out whether or not you'd be able to keep up with them.
Okay, so you want to just try it out and see how it goes?
Yeah, let's try it out. Let's do one run where basically we are using no paperwork, and let's use another run where you're using your notes to go ahead and stay on topic.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So for the first one, no paperwork. Put it aside. No pen, and we shall begin.
Okay.
Good, sir. Go ahead and state your full name for the record.
Jeff Holmes.
Okay. Walk me through this. When it comes to your impairments, what are your top 5 most severe impairments?
I have bipolar disorder, severe anxiety, severe depression. I also have IBS and migraines.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now walk me through this. These migraines. How often do you get them?
I used to get them more than before, but now I experience them maybe once every 3 weeks, and they're pretty debilitating.
Okay, now when you say once every 3 weeks, how bad are they? I mean, you're saying they're debilitating, but I mean, what does that mean?
It means that I have to lay in bed, and I have medication that I take. It's a nasal Imitrex medication that I inject in my nose to help me with the pain.
Okay, so you take this medication. How long does it take for you to get better?
It varies, but sometimes within an hour.
Within an hour? Okay. So basically, if you take these pills within an hour, you're pretty much back to normal.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disoriented, because of the pain that I've gone through. But yes, probably within an hour and a half, I'm back to normal.
Okay. Walk me through this. When it comes to, your ability to go ahead and, deal with your depression, what seems to cure your depression, get you away from things, get you back up to a normal, standard? What seems to help you with depression?
Well, the basic thing is, of course, is my medication. But when I ride my bike, and I get out and ride my bike, and that makes me feel better.
Okay, so you ride your bike, you're outside, you're doing well, so you really don't have any physical impairments, correct?
Yes, I do. I don't really know if it's in my medical record, but I have a lower back pain. If I'm doing any type of bending or lifting for too long, my back starts hurting. Sometimes I'm out for a couple days when that happens. There's times where I've fallen on the floor and I couldn't get up. My back pain was so bad.
What are some of the symptoms that you experience based upon your depression?
My symptoms?
Correct.
Well, I've been suicidal. The depression is severe. A lot of times I just go in my room and just isolate. I've been hospitalized a few times, 4 times.
Well, how many times have you been Baker acted?
I'm sorry?
How many times have you been Baker acted?
How many times have been what?
How many times have you been Baker acted?
Let me get you off a speakerphone.
Sure. So, good sir, how many times have you been Baker acted?
Baker acted?
Yes, Baker acted.
I'm not sure what that is.
That's where the police come pick you up. They take you on a free ride to a nice mental facility. You hang out, and basically they go ahead and make sure you don't do any suicidal actions.
I'm trying to think back, but just recently I was taken to the hospital by ambulance,
Mm-hmm.
and prior to that I had 3 other hospitalizations, but I really can't remember if I was taken in a gurney or not.
Okay. And they were always for depression?
Depression and anxiety and just a nervous breakdown sort of thing.
Okay. Now, walk me through this. Can you tell me what kind of symptoms do you get from your anxiety?
I get tight chested. I get very irritable. It feels like I need to get out of my skin, and I can't get out of my skin because I can't. Sometimes I just yell and scream because sometimes it's really overwhelming, and I get really angry sometimes as well.
All right, do me a favor. Look up the following listings, 12.04, 12.06. Go look at the terminology that they use there and pick words that are your words that represent those same sorts of things. That way, basically, we have a better understanding as to why you meet the statute or what within the statute you need to meet. Because the bottom line here is the problems related to this are you're not choosing the right words and they're not free flowing. And I understand the memory issue, and that's fine. But if you're going to make lists about the top 5 impairments you have, what symptoms you get from each impairment, what medications you have, and what side effects you get from each of those medications.
I have all that medication stuff. I have that listed.
Okay. All right. So then let's. All right. Now go ahead and get your piece of paper and pad back. Let's run some more questions.
What is that? Those numbers you mentioned before?
Those are listings, 12.04 and 12.06.
Okay. You want me to get my notes? Is that what you said?
Yep. Go ahead and get your notes. We're going to do a little bit more with the notes, and then we'll go through that, and then we'll basically make a summary, a conclusion, and then we'll switch from there over to essentially the next person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Let me know when you have your notes.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, good, sir. Let's go through this. All right, I'm gonna have a little fun myself because I work all day and it's time for me to have fun. Excellent, good sir. Did you ever work for the military? Have you ever been a citizen of another country?
No.
Are you currently working?
No.
When was the last time you worked?
2017.
What did you do?
Take that back. 2018.
What did you do in 2018?
Well, back in 2017, I quit a job of 20 years. I was a mental health counselor, and I worked for Sacramento County. And it was 20 years, and my original plan was to work for 25, 30 years, but I had to cut it short because of this. And so I tried 3 other different jobs that I wasn't able to complete or stay with because of anxiety. And that was I worked for Uber and DoorDash and another delivery company.
Okay, so walk me through this. Why did DoorDash not work?
Well, I almost got into a few accidents. They're very close accidents, and because of my anxiety and trying to go as fast as I can to get things done. and just the anxiety just was overwhelming at times. And like I said, I almost got in a few accidents.
Okay. Help me out with this. I want to talk to you about driving. So do you have any limitations when it comes to driving? Got to be quicker than this. You got to be quicker because the judge is going to ask you this. And
Okay. When I'm in traffic, I get very anxious, and I feel like I need to get out of the traffic because my anxiety starts building up.
what seems to, okay.
To do okay.
What seems to be the thing that causes you anxiety while you're driving?
When I feel like I need to be someplace quickly, and if I'm not in that place quickly, then that's when the anxiety starts building up.
Mm-hmm. So that's it? You just got to be someplace quickly? Got to be faster. You got to have faster reactions than that. The judge is only going to give you around 20 minutes for your attorney to go through the entire thing with you. So you cannot waste a single second, because every second you waste, every time you go off into the weeds of some story, your attorney is losing opportunities to ask you additional questions. So, good sir, what causes you anxiety while driving?
I need to be someplace, and I need to be there. I feel like I need to be there fast. And if I'm stuck in traffic at a stoplight, I don't know how else to explain it, that I just have this tightness in my chest, and I get really, really nervous.
Okay, what happens when you get really nervous? Nothing happens or something happens?
Well, I start sweating, and my body starts tightening up.
Mm-hmm.
I start getting the tension in my body gets stronger.
All right, you haven't mentioned panic attacks yet. When do you have a panic attack? Does driving cause panic attacks?
No.
Okay. All right. So what causes panic attacks?
The last time I had panic attack, and I was back when I first applied for disability, and I was sitting at the counter, and it just was overwhelming. I just put my head down and started crying, and that's the last one that I can think of.
All right. So you feel very unorganized with your responses. You feel like you're reaching with your notes. You feel like you're reaching without your notes. In fact, I felt like you were less reaching without your notes, because there was none of this up, down, trying to find an answer on my little piece of paper. So I guess what I would say is this. You're either going to have to get really good at doing these questions, which means watching these videos of what kind of trick questions, what kind of questions there are for the hearing, or you're going to basically just have to have your attorney run over these questions over and over and over and over again, because you are not sure what to say at every turn of the road. If I said to you, okay, walk me through this, what's your favorite hobby? What would you say?
Riding my bike.
Riding your bicycle. But you have back issues, correct?
Yes, but they happen when I'm doing exercise and bending my back up and down. That's when I started having troubles with my back.
So riding a bicycle over bumps doesn't cause you to have more back pain issues?
No, not as long as I'm not using my back in a certain way.
So your back issues really aren't that severe?
Like I said, they can be severe if I overuse my back. And there's times where I was fell to the floor and I couldn't get up. And I've had sciatica pain as well, which is putting me in bed for a couple of days.
What does overusing your back mean? Like, what does that help me out with that? Define that for me.
When I bend over and stand up, bend over, stand up. For instance, picking up leaves and putting it in the garbage.
Okay. All right. So how many times can you bend down and pick up a leaf to put in the garbage?
For maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Okay. Walk me through this. When it comes to outside activities, what sort of things other than bicycling do you do?
What was the question again?
When it comes to doing outside activities other than bicycling as a hobby, what other things do you do?
I mow the lawn.
Is it a push mower? Is it a seated mower?
It's a lightweight electric mower.
Is it self-propelled?
No, it's not.
So you have to push it.
Yes.
All right, they're going to kill you on the back claim. I'm just telling you ahead of time. If you're talking about mowing the lawn with a push mower, if you're talking about riding a bicycle, they're going to kill you horribly when it comes to the back issues. They're also going to be saying, well, okay, so this guy can do some basic stuff around the house. He can do some repair stuff. So, okay, so tell me, what other things can you do outside to assist with the house?
I fix things around the house that are broken, like the doorknobs, and I oil things, and sometimes I do a little bit of woodwork on my bench.
Excellent.
Just really small handyman type things I do around the house.
Okay. So you're able to do basic fixing, things like that. That's really incredible. Talk to me. What is the most complex thing that you fixed within the past 2 years?
What's the most complex what?
What is the most complex thing that you fixed within the past 2 years?
I built a small bench.
Oh, cool. Was it made out of wood?
Yes.
What kind of tools did you use?
I use a saw, a hammer, screws, screwdriver.
Drill. What kind of wood did you build it out of?
There's Douglas fir.
Okay. Did you coat it?
Yes, I did.
What'd you coat it with?
It's
Polypropylene.
Yeah, polypropylene. Yeah.
Okay. How long did it take for you to make it?
It took me about a day, maybe less, maybe 4 to 6 hours.
If you had to build another, how long would it take you?
Less, because I would have the measurements of the wood, so it'd be a lot easier to. It'd probably take me a couple hours.
2 to 3 hours, yeah. Good, sir. If I were your attorney, I would be a little concerned. You have an attorney, right?
Yes, that's something I want to mention. You talk about big box firms.
Yeah.
This attorney has spent 1 hour, 15 minutes with me, and he's going to talk to me right before the hearing for maybe 15 minutes. That's all I've seen this guy.
Okay. All right. I would call him up and ask him to run more questions with you, because if you are capable of riding a bicycle, mowing along, building a bench, I don't know why you couldn't do a woodworker's job, where they just leave you alone and have you build the same thing over and over.
Mm-hmm. But I failed to tell you that I'm 59 and a half. I don't know if that makes
so
difference.
You're shooting for the grid out option at the 55 to 59 a day before 60. Yeah, that's going to help a lot. But don't hurt yourself by making any of these statements while you're in the hearing, because look, it took me 20 minutes to figure out a way to find that you could do a job. That's not good, So I would have a chat with your attorney to go ahead and figure out a better plan of attack for the statements that you're going to be making. Some of these statements will come up, but your attorney can really shape where the questions are going throughout the hearing. And that's incredible. A lot of people think, why do I need an attorney? And I look at those bozos and I think, you're being an idiot, because the moment the judge bites in right? Gets you on a tough question and you just answered wrong. They're going to maul you like a small honey badger. And then you're going to be stuck because you've just blown your claim. You have nobody there to cross-examine you, and that's all. Straight to the vocational expert, done. So my suggestion to you is I would very much so get your attorney to have a greater interest in your claim, specifically when it comes to your testimony.
When it comes to what?
Your testimony.
Oh. What I wrote all the stuff that's going on with me in the email. I wish I could get that to you. But what you said, how you responded, you said, this is a good claim. You will probably grid out on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have that here. I said, relax. It's a good claim that will likely grid out. Make sure you have an appropriate AOD and don't get greedy. Be nice to the ALJ and don't elaborate into trouble. You don't need to ace this hearing with that fact pattern. You just need to make sure you don't stick your foot into your mouth, which is what you've done a couple of times tonight. Keep it simple and follow the rules. Call in on Thursday from 8 to 10 if you want me to run questions with you, which you did. All right, so here's the deal. Write me. No, because I don't get time throughout the week anymore because there's so many claims. But here's what I would say. Call your attorney and get them to run questions with you and get them to go over topics that are particularly problematic. I'm going to tell you which ones are problematic right now, and then I got to switch to the next person because I don't want to spend too much time per claimant. All right, so yeah, that's already another one calling in right now. So here's the deal. The topics you're going to do poorly on are transportation, household activities, outside activities.
Outside?
Yeah, outside. Mowing, hedging, trimming, weed whacking, all that jazz. Do you have any pets?
No.
Okay. Do you have any children?
I have two grown stepchildren.
Do they come and help you with stuff?
Not usually.
Okay. Walk me through this. When it comes to your medication side effects, that's something we didn't go into. You need to have that mastered. That's one of the big things that helps with the 55 to 59 and the day before 60 claims. So make sure you work with that attorney on those side effects that you have from those medications. Look up the medications, look at what side effects there are, pick 2 per medication. If there's more than 2, good. If there's less than 2, that's okay too. Just make sure you get a firm grasp on what your medication side effects are, and that's what you can write down in the forms in front of you to go ahead and deliver to the judge. Okay?
Oh.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Good, sir. Look, you're going to get better at this. You have time. Make this your personal. Look, when they went to go, okay, when the Christians went to go take Jerusalem, when the Muslims went to go take Jerusalem, when the Jews went to go take Jerusalem, there was nothing else on their plate other than doing that. This is your holy goal. This is your one big thing. You're not going to be a heretic to your one big thing. You are going to push through and get everything you can possibly done, because otherwise you could potentially screw up a relatively easy claim, which we got to in a 20-minute period, which is a no bueno. That's a class 5 no bueno. There's many classes of no bueno, but class 5, that's the red with the sparkles. That's when the hurricane is coming and it's going to take out Puerto Rico, America, and Canada. So, indeed.
Walter, to tell you the truth, I've been working on this for 2 years, but I've been working the wrong way because I don't have the right attorney to help me, to steer me in the right way, the right direction.
I know, and it makes me sad too because look, this is a claim that should have been. You want my honest opinion? This claim should have never even made it to a hearing. Should have never made it to a hearing. I got a bunch of claims that I'm making $500, $600 on because I got them found disabled really quickly at the initial filing level. This is a claim that should have never made it to a hearing, but now you're going to a hearing. So you got to make that day, your birthday, pretty much the most important day other than the day your mom said, I am ready. This day, you have to be perfect. And when I say perfect, I mean make as many graphs as you can, make as many charts as you can, run them. Run the tough questions, have your attorney call you. And tell your attorney, look, call me when you're driving home. Call me when you're doing this. Call me when you're not in the office. You don't have to be a suit running these questions for me. Just call me because I want to get this perfect.
Okay.
All right. Good sir.
I appreciate your
Absolutely. You know, I will catch you.
appreciate your help.
Yeah, I'll catch you a little bit later. And look, man, if you run into a shit situation where you're not sure what to do, just shoot me another email and I'll respond to it. Okay.
Okay, great.
Perfect. Good sir. I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Thanks, Walter.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Howdy, guys. So real quick, what I want to go ahead and do is go through the basics here. That is a claim that would be a very, very good claim because of the age. I mean, we're talking a 55 to 59, a day before 60 grid up, a potential option. I didn't ask him what his education was because I think I remember from the original email he sent me, but it's pretty good. It's not horrific. It's pretty good. We're not talking about doctorate, master stuff. So my point to you here is you can see where a lot of claimants, and I know Dr. Spock has got a lot of this stuff. I know Cheyenne's got a lot of this stuff, and you guys understand it really well. But the bottom line here is that you can see how somebody can have a really good claim and then all of a sudden get really off track and then be in a tough situation. And that's not what I want for you guys. I want you to walk into this hearing with your head high. I want you to walk into this hearing knowing what the questions and the answers are ahead of time. And I want you to walk into this hearing understanding what the vocational expert portion of it is all about. In fact, I spoke with a vocational expert today who called me, who's a regular at the hearing office. I said to him, hey, look, if you have the chance, if it's either you or one of the people that works for you, come on to the show and explain to everybody. It would be really, it would make me happy, but it would do a heck of a lot more for you guys. Explain what your job is as a vocational expert to everybody that's watching, because bottom line, the one thing that you guys don't understand in a very large way is the vocational expert portion. You don't know why they're asking hypotheticals. You don't know why they're proffering these three jobs. You don't know what the language is as to, is this occasional, is it frequent, is it continuous? You don't know what these things are. You don't know what they mean, what they have, what are SVPs, all that. And I get that. I'm working on getting a vocational expert to come on, a VE. If I can do it, we'll do it. If I can't do it, forgive me. A lot of them, they don't want to go on this because they don't want Q&As. There's no Q&A because you guys are in the chat box, but the bottom line is a lot of them don't want to do it because, let's call it like it is, no, actually, I should ask her. That's a good point. Good point. I had her today as a vocational expert, and she's one of my favorite vocational experts. Cheyenne, I should ask her because she does a great job, and she actually knows how to communicate to people. Whereas a lot of these vocational experts, they don't know how to talk to people. They're very systematic in their approach to things. So I'm actually going to reach out to her because she's one of the older ones. She does a great job with explaining complex subjects in stupid, simple manners, which is my way of saying somebody who studied this has a genius way of looking at it, and they can distill it down into this itty bitty little thing and make it make sense. It's the whole equals MC squared, yada, yada spiel. And that's the toughest thing to do in the world. The classic writing is I wrote this letter for you, and if I had 2 more hours, I would have made it half the size. Distilling it down. You guys, the tough thing with a lot of you is distilling it down. Can you tell me what your top 5 impairments are? What? That broke the internet when it came to disability claimants. People were like, I didn't even know what my impairment was, let alone that I had to have 5. So, okay, I'm rambling. We're going to get out of the weeds now. Here we go. Yeah, she has many, many, many years of experience. She's one of the best VEs out there. She really knows her stuff. She's a thinker. Most of these VEs, they go up there and it's just, boop, 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 boop. These are the jobs. Boop, boop. There's no thinking. It's just boop, boop, boop. But she actually makes considerations based upon her experience, which is not something we see in all the VEs. Nonetheless, I missed a call. Let me get over there. Let's see. Okay, over here. Let's see. I have this one. Okay, I'm going to call the phone right now. Let's see if we can get the person. Okay, here we go. And Dr. Spock, I'm sorry I'll fix those website things. Howdy, Madame, Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live. Are you ready to go live on YouTube? Perfect. Excellent. Let me go ahead and put the audio speaker on. Now, Madame, make sure you use a fake name for the record. And also, would you like me to run hearing questions with you, or would you like me to go ahead and answer a specific question about your claim?
I guess hearing questions.
Okay. When's your hearing?
It's next Wednesday, and it's a remand.
Okay, excellent. Did you read the remand letter?
Yes, I have it right here.
Do you have a copy of it in PDF form that you could email to me?
No, maybe I could upload it somehow and email it to you.
Tell you what, let's do it the easy way. When you look at it and there's a bunch of boilerplate crap on the front page, it's just like, parties and then little paragraphs and stuff like that. But then the next page has more about like why this is all happening.
Yes.
Okay. Do me a favor, text me a clear image of it. I'm going to look at that while I'm talking to you and running these questions so that I, specifically go into the things that they're looking for. So take a moment right now, take a few photos and text them to that business line and I'll grab them from there.
Okay.
Perfect. So take your time. I'm going to talk to everybody on YouTube while you're doing that. And then whatchamacallit, and then I'll catch up with you once you're ready. Just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm going to take photos of it, right? And then send it to you. Perfect.
I'm going to tell YouTube a little story about why I had a crappy week in the meantime while you're working on that.
Okay, I'm going to put you on speakerphone when I'm doing that then, okay?
Excellent. Okay, so guys, here's what happened this week. I was mowing, and I love mowing because it pulls me away from the reality in the world that I live in, which is work constantly on this stuff. And I was mowing into a spot that I knew there was a beehive, well, in this case, a yellow jacket. Let's not get everybody fluffed up on the chat session. They were yellow jackets. It was a nest in the ground, and I thought I had sprayed it to death because I didn't know how all that in the ground yellow jacket stuff worked. Well, anyways, so I go over there and I'm thinking, look, I grew up on a farm. I'm going to mow this spot. I'm going to mow where these problematic yellow jackets, kryptonite hornets, exactly what happened. I'm going to mow where these guys were. Now, let me tell you what happened. The moment I approached the Yellow Lives Matter protest that it turned into, okay, they came out swarming at maximum warp speed. They bit me 14 times, and which is why I actually look all puffed up. Yesterday, for the first time in a long time, I fell asleep at 6 p.m. as opposed to 2 a.m. when I normally do, because what happened was I had been bitten so many times that my body, due to what was in their bites, swelled up, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning, which is why if you look at me and you're like, wow, I looks really tired and crappy. It's not because I didn't get a lot of sleep. It's because I had 14 little injections of yellow jacket into my body. Now, here's the fun part. I went through this entire fun experience, and I wanted to think about what I would do with the video footage of it. And I decided that because you guys have been so amazing, I'm going to actually put one of the videos up there so that you can see what happened, because I want you to understand that it is important for people to not take themselves too seriously. A lot of attorneys have this problem, as do Jedi Knights and Masters, which if you're not into that, that's fine. I hate you. So the bottom line is you have to understand that you cannot take yourself too seriously, because the moment you do that, you take away the humanity of interacting with other individuals, which is so important because people want the other person to hear what they're saying, think about it, and give a great response back that involves the facts of what they had with creative answers. And that is not common. But when you care about what's going on with the other person, you can do that. Now, I always say this. I don't put extreme amounts of emotion into, how much I care about that claim or what's going on or whatever, because I can't take everybody to the Super Bowl. I can't take everybody to the Olympics. I can only do the best that I can. However, I will say this. I think a lot of people are sick of those attorneys out there who look at a claim, make a choice the moment they read something, and then toss the person off. They brush them away. And I understand that a lot of these disability attorneys, they're just taking the quick claim so that they can get the quick buck, and they don't really work it up. And I get that, and I understand that, and that's a problem. I'm going to post this video because I want you guys to laugh. I want you guys to see the other side of what my personal life had and the dilemma I had. And it's going to show you literally probably about the first 10 stings that happened to me. So it's a funny video, and then I'm going to have a video showing you all the bees or the yellow jackets swarming around the little Husqvarna tractor. So I'm going to post it, and I'm posting it for you guys. Either way, I want you to know this: at the end of the day, It is very important when you screw something up, when you don't do something right, laugh with yourself about it, because you know the ego, it kills you. It doesn't put you where you need to be in life. It keeps you back from being what you were meant to be. And that's so true of so many people. I know so many lawyers that just don't connect with their family, with their people, and all that stuff. Now, I get that they're workaholics, yada, yada. I have that same problem. But remember, don't take yourself too seriously. You screw something up, laugh. Karma is there laughing with you. It either happened to you because karma was upset, or it happened to you because you had too many good things going on in life and we needed a little bit of balance. All right. Madame, did you get a chance to go ahead and take those photos?
I did, and I sent them.
Perfect. Let me see if I have an email with them.
I sent them. I texted them.
Perfect. I set up my phone system. I have what most people call the shittiest phone system on Earth at this galaxy's edge. And what it is I use basically that Google Voice thing, and it hooks up to my computer. I will not, and I just want to make this statement to everybody, I will not use an auto attendant. An auto attendant, just so you know what it is where the phone will answer and ask you 15 different questions about what number of severe impairments.
The top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, are you talking? I have physical and mental health. So
Mm-hmm.
do I?
Yeah, top 5. What are the top 5 mental and physical?
Okay. The physical, I have occipital neuralgia,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very rare condition.
Very rare.
The nerve coming from my spine and my cervical
Mm-hmm.
spine goes up. It branches out. There's the greater occipital, the lesser occipital, and the third occipital. Well, mine is affecting the greater occipital, which branches out like tree branches
Mm-hmm.
over your skull. So it's predominantly on my left side, and my MRI is a pretty bad mess. That's
Mm-hmm.
showing some abnormal signal intensity in C1 and C2, and then bulging discs and osteophytes, which I think are bones first. So I have cervical radiculopathy from it. So the pain it's not a headache.
Mm-hmm.
It's actual severe pain, like starting at the base of my skull and then branching up into my left eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's also on my right side, but not as bad as my left. Then I also have a frozen shoulder, and I also have calcific tendonitis in my left shoulder, which limits my movement because it hurts really bad. It's aching, pain, constant, which comes up on my collarbone.
Mm-hmm.
It comes back to the, I call it like the wing of your shoulder blade in the
Sure.
back, you know? There's pain there. There's pain because I have the calcium. It's been so long, and they don't treat it. They've just medicated me or gave me injections.
Mm-hmm.
The calcium hardened, so now it's hard as on my bursa and when it's in my rotator cuff.
Okay.
So there's 2 issues with my left shoulder. Then I also have bulging discs in my lumbar, which causes sciatica, and it started out at L4 and L5 and went to L2 because the pain radiating down my leg has now gone into my shin, my groin, my thighs. So I have to get epidurals for those, and
Okay.
epidurals in my neck and injections in my skull.
All right. Now, before you go on, I want to ask you this. When it comes down to
Yeah.
the appeals council review, did you read the appeals council review?
Yeah.
As did I. What specifically were they looking for as part of the adjudication of what they found missing in your claim?
The mental health.
Correct. And what specifically with the mental health?
The residual functional capacity, I think.
The RFC, and which criteria base were they looking for?
Let me read it. I don't understand it, honestly.
No worries. Let me help you out here. They're looking for a B and C criteria-based usage and review specifically for the mental impairments that you were claiming, including the panic attacks, depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And here's the kicker. They found that the discussion that the judge had in the original writing, right, your original denial, was not of a proper medical analysis. So he didn't write about the right things. He didn't cite the right doctors in reference to those particular issues, which means the judge's writer didn't do a good job in espousing the issues that made you not seem disabled for the mental aspects from the doctors that were based. Now, here's the whole thing. Your doctors must have supported that you are mentally unsound. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so what's happening?
So did
go ahead.
so
Yeah.
did the CEs. So did, I think what do they call them, CEs?
Yeah, CEs, consultants.
I had 2 mental health evaluations from them, and then I see a psychiatrist. I have been since 2010. So, and then my pain management doctor also referred me for mental health eval because I'm extremely depressed and anxious, and the panic attacks and insomnia and all of that. So he just wanted me to get evaluated.
Okay. All right. Ironically, there was a person who came onto the channel in the chat that was like, I don't want to hear any more mental claims. And you've provided me literally solely with an adjudication-based situation that essentially would only require the review of the mental analysis, and anything missing at all that was not included in the original review that would assist with the formation of the RFC, the residual functional capacity analysis. So I'm a little worried because when I asked you the most basic question of what are your top 5 most severe impairments, you weren't sure what to answer. I now want you to answer something in the following manner. What is your most severe mental impairment?
Anxiety.
What are your top 3 most severe mental impairments?
Anxiety, the PTSD, and depression.
Okay.
I have major depressive disorder.
Yeah. Okay. What are your top 5 most severe mental impairments?
I have the anxiety. I have panic attacks, the PTSD, the insomnia, and I have social anxiety. So I don't leave my house, don't go anywhere.
Okay. So when you throw
major depression disorder.
Okay. So when you throw a house party, you're the only one there turning up the speakers.
I don't throw house parties.
I know. You're sitting there like, of course they're not. I know. Do you have any pets?
I have a cat.
What's the cat's name? I mean, let's bring some, animal rights. Yeah.
Her name is Shadow.
Wow, my dog is named Shadow, and he is a monster. Is your cat black with a little bit of white?
No, she's gray with a little bit of white.
Oh.
Very fluffy.
Well, all right. So here's the deal. If this were a show where I could put you on video, I'd be very interested in seeing the cat because I grew up with 2 Siamese cats for a long time. There were actually 3 to begin with, and then before that, there was another cat that was a black and white cat that we called Igor or Iggy. But I grew up as a cat individual, and now I have 2 stinky little dogs. But I'm very pleased to hear that you have a cat because these furry little pets need every little human that they can get. So I'm very, very happy with that. All right, so let me cut through the bull and get right to what you need to focus on. Instead of beating you up, now that I know you have a cat, I'm going to help you.
Yeah, she's my comfort.
Good.
She's a lot of comfort to me.
Good. All right, so first thing I want you to do is, are you by a computer?
No.
Okay, I want you to write down the following. You're going to Google 12.04.
Hang on.
Yeah, well, once you get a piece of paper, let me know.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I need you to write down SSA disability listing. SSA disability listing.
Disability listing. Okay.
12.04.
12.04.
12.06.
12.06.
12.15.
12.15.
That is your
Okay.
roadmap. That is your book. That is your instruction manual on how to put this thing together. You're going to go learn every single word in those listings, and you're going to pick words that are similar to them, that are your speech, that are relevant to what you have. And you're going to use those words when the judge asks you, well, what kind of symptoms do you have for anxiety? So let's run that. Ma'am, what kind of symptoms, now that you're hearing it twice, do you have for anxiety?
Well, anxiety, there's like a rush of adrenaline through me, and it's a panicky feeling. It's the feeling of flee, hide. I can't think. I can't. I obsess. They start obsessing in my thoughts. They start running and running and running over and over again. I basically get immobilized, and I know it's weird, like digestion shuts down, like I can't eat, I can't sleep. I can feel it in my chest. It's where I feel it majorly, is in my chest. I've actually thought I was having a heart attack and gone to the hospital several times because of it. So that's what the anxiety does. And then if I have a panic attack, I won't sleep. Not even my medication sometimes won't put me to sleep because of it.
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm looking at. You don't feel sure about your answers. Do you feel that as well?
I am scared because when I don't know what this judge, I've never done this before. And my last hearing, the judge was real short with me.
Mm-hmm.
And when he asked about my PTSD and asked why I have it, and I started to explain why, because I saw my sister die.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me get emotional.
When did you see your sister pass away?
When I was 9.
Okay. Well,
And it was a horrible accident.
was it a car accident, or what type of accident was it?
So it's stuck in me and it's ingrained in me.
And what happened?
She was burned from head to toe with hot grease. And so she only had a diaper on. She was 18 months old. And in 1978, they didn't have 911. So my parents had to, they put her in a cold shower, and then they rushed her off to the hospital, and then they meta-flighted her to Northern California, where she fought for about 3 weeks and then died.
Okay. Help me out with this. Do you have flashbacks or nightmares?
Oh, that, yeah.
Okay.
I can't hear children crying or screaming or being spanked or anything. I flip out over that. I can't have loud noises, TV or stereo or people talking really loud. Even children playing and wrestling around too much causes me to get really anxious, and I want them to stop. I have 3 kids, and I'm extremely overprotective. like they weren't allowed in the kitchen, and that's where my sister's accident happened. And so the nightmares went on, especially until I left home when I was 16. But that's not just the only reason why I have the PTSD. I mean, I grew up in an era where it was okay to beat the hell out of your kid. And so that's why I left home at 16.
Okay. Let me ask you this. How old are you now?
I'm 51.
Okay. Have you worked jobs since then?
I've worked all my life up until I stopped working in 2013. But I have met all my work requirements and Medicare requirements. Even the judge put that in his decision letter that I'm insured and I have met my Medicare requirements. But my attorney says I won't go on the grid rules because they're looking at me. When I filed, I was 47 or 46 or 47. So basically, they're treating me as a young adult.
Yes, correct. By statute, you are a young adult. Has your attorney had the conversation with you about not being greedy and moving your AOD to basically be when you turn 50?
I'm sorry, what?
Has your attorney had that conversation with you about not being greedy and moving your AOD to basically when you turn 50 to make it easier for this administrative law judge to just flip the decision and push it through?
No.
Yeah.
He just said they'll go off my functional capacity.
Let me explain to you how attorneys work. They can be very money-oriented. They can be, I assure you, very focused on the number amount attached to a particular claim, even though these disability claims aren't worth much per claim, the amount you have to spend and what you get. So you got to do a lot of them. If you would like my advice, the judge is going to attack you on the PTSD claim because you've worked your whole life and you've been able to do that and have children and all those things, which means that in particular, that aspect of your life was not something that kept you from working at a high level. And to now bring it up and say, now it's a problem, there has to be something that triggered it, that brought it forward, which is going to be a difficult hill for you to climb, especially when you've got 3 kids, worked your entire life, and now you're at where you're at. Make it easy on the judge. That's the number one rule for disability attorneys. Make it easy on the judge to approve you. And approval for you is better than another denial at the ALJ hearing. That's an easy one to answer, right? That's okay, cool. So now, what do we want? Is the attorney willing to give up a couple of years of back pay to ensure that you will likely be found disabled? I don't know.
Yeah. I think he is. What he mentioned to me is there's also I didn't fill the paperwork, that SSI was filed also, and he said I could, if I don't get my SSTI, I could get that SSI. But I'm like, why would I want that when I worked all my life and I'm insured?
Yeah, that makes no sense. If you're insured and your DLI is far enough forward in time, you would just go on to SSDI benefits. The medical standard for SSI and SSDI is the same, literally the same. Same 5-step analysis. The only difference between SSDI and SSI, 2 elements each. SSI, you got to be poor and disabled. SSDI, you got to be insured and disabled. That's the difference. They use the same medical standard. So that statement doesn't make sense. Here's what you're going to do to fix this. You're going to go ahead and figure out what the day before your birthday of when you turned 50 was. You're going to ask your attorney to go ahead and change your alleged onset date to be specifically that date. And then you're going to present a new brief and a new opening statement to the judge specifying how you meet the grid rules, what specific grid rules. You're going to write down which vocational jobs you had in the past that basically show that you did not have high SVP numbers. High SVP numbers are the numbers that show that you have essentially jobs that required more time to learn. You're going to show them that you had low SVP numbers throughout the past 15 years of your work. That's 2005 forward. You're going to put that all into a brief, make it easy for the judge, get the judge to approve it, and then boom, you're found disabled. You're not getting as much back pay. He's not getting as much of a fee, but you are going to then refer more wonderful clients to that attorney who obviously just saved your claim.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
What?
Okay. AOD. Amend AOD to. Let's make it simple. Let's make it amend AOD to your 50th birthday.
Okay.
Go.
What if my attorney doesn't want to do that?
It's not up to him. It's up to you.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, this is why I wanted to talk to you, because I get pushed around.
Yeah, me too. I mean, my dogs just beat the hell out of me. It's not good. And when I send you guys the B video, the Yellow Lives Matter video, where I drove my little lawnmower onto a yellow jacket hive, you're going to see how they push me around too. So, yeah, that's okay. You're going to amend your AOD your 50th birthday. Let's just make it simple on that. You're going to then go ahead and send to the judge a brief outlining what jobs you had in the past 15 years and showing how the jobs that they proffered were too high SVP numbers, and that you weren't doing a higher level, hiring, firing, scheduling, training, payroll,
Yes,
stuff
I
like that.
was.
You were. Okay, so
I owned my own business.
oh, okay, so you're going to have so then it comes down to transferable skills. And it comes down to how good is your medical treatment for your mental. And let me ask you this. How many times have you been in a mental facility where you literally were there for 3 to 4 days at a time?
Never. There's just no way I would let that happen to me. I would not go.
Well, you think it's up to you? Your impairments are controllable enough to the point where you could keep yourself out of it? That's a problem.
There's not anybody around me that is exposed to.
So there's nothing in your mental impairments that keeps you from going to a mental facility for 3 to 4 days at a time, 2 weeks of every 4 months.
I'm sorry, what is the reason, did you say?
Well, think about it, right? You just told me you would never allow that to happen. So you're that in control of your mental impairments? Well, then why the heck aren't you working?
There's no way physically or emotionally I could. I'm in extreme pain. I couldn't make it through a day. I couldn't.
What was the last job you had?
What was the title of it? I was the case manager for drug and alcohol. People who had drug and alcohol addiction.
Yeah, DAA. Okay. Let me ask you this. How long did you have that job?
Well, I was there for only 6 months because I had to go medical leave for my gallbladder, and then they terminated me when I was on medical leave.
Okay, so how many jobs did you try to get thereafter?
Several. Was not successful, and then I have this limitation of my left shoulder, and it's extremely hard to get a job after trying to explain why they terminated me. And I mean, I had an excellent job. I did good work.
Now, we're not on the right path here. You tried to get a new job. Why couldn't you get a new job? They wouldn't hire you because you couldn't explain why they got rid of you at the last job. I get that. But why couldn't you do the new job?
The new job?
Yeah, a new job. You had the case manager thing. You were doing the DAA. That's fine. Now you went to the new position, right? You're doing a new job, right? Have new income. What happened there?
I don't understand. I terminated from that job while I was on medical leave.
Yeah, I know. But then you went to another job. Didn't you try to find alternative employment? Okay.
No, I didn't.
Why not?
To another job. Well, I had been job seeking, but I wasn't able to find a job. And then the injury, my arm this has been a long-standing thing with my arm, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, this occipital neuralgia hit me, and then all of my anxiety and I went into the major depression, and that's probably what triggered all the PTSD. I mean, I've had a hard life. I've had to work hard to make a good living.
Help me out with this. Are you currently married? You living with somebody?
I'm divorced, and I have a roommate. Well, I get to live here for free until hopefully Social Security comes through.
Well, who's paying for other stuff? Who's paying for the credit card bills? Who's paying for the food?
Oh, I get food stamps for me to buy groceries, and my credit cards, those are charged off. And I owned my car. I paid that off in 2012. So the only bill I majorly have is my car insurance. It's $42 a month.
Who pays for that?
My roommate.
And is this a boyfriend, a potential husband?
No, it was a relationship, but it's not anymore. We have separate bedrooms and stuff. But I think he's being compassionate because he sees what's happened over the years and the condition that I'm in now.
All right, let me explain to you the toughest thing about your claim. You have the same problem as the daughter who has grandparents paying for her apartment, and she never has to put herself in a stressful situation. I actually made a top 10 most difficult claimants list, and you, the type of person you are actually on that top 10. And here's the major problem with why your claim is tough to win. It's because somebody is taking care of you so that you never have to put yourself in a negative situation, which causes you to have to go to a mental facility or a hospital for immediate care because of emergency problems. How many times have you been to a mental facility and stayed there for a day?
Never.
That's a problem. How am I supposed to take your mental impairment seriously?
Why do I have to be locked up in a mental health facility to have because of my anxiety and depression?
Well,
Why do I have to be locked up for that?
Isn't that what you do at your house?
Well, if I'm home, it relieves the stressors.
Right. And if you're home, then nobody has objective evidence of you having these problems. You see where the problem is? You're in a bubble.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to be locked up. That would freak me out.
I know. You're in a bubble. I had a claimant call me the other day and say, I want to withdraw my claim because I don't think I'm ever going to win. And I said, honestly, I don't think we're ever going to win this claim either because your grandparents pay for everything for you. You've locked yourself in a bubble, which means that we don't have any objective evidence other than you going to a physician every once in a while for a checkup and medication review.
No, I see my psychiatrist every 3 weeks.
Okay, every 3 weeks you go to them. What do they say?
Well, they're checking on me, how I am, asking if I'm feeling, that I'll harm myself. I talk to her about, I think about it, but what keeps me from doing it is my children. And she checks my medications. Like, she just put me back on another one because the depression, I wasn't getting up out of bed. I wasn't doing anything. So I've been back on it, another medication for about a week. And I'm starting to feel some improvement.
All right. The difference.
Social anxiety has always been a problem for me. So I'm not going to ever, it's just ingrained in me. I'm not going to go out and be a social butterfly. It's just not who I am.
Well, nobody's asking you for that. I mean,
It'll
nobody's,
cause me
you
so
know,
much panic that
No-
I won't be able to breathe.
nobody's asking you for going out and starting a party on the block. You know, nobody's asking for that. The problem with this claim is that you've never taken your impairments to prove in front of a judge serious enough to give the judge what they need. You've always lived in a protective bubble. If you didn't have this roommate that wasn't a relationship, now you have separate rooms. If you didn't have that, it would have forced you to be in some other living situation, which would have forced you to end up in a mental hospital. The evidence that hurts you is that you were working with the DAA crowd, which is not uncommon for people to be working with these individuals to have a mental breakdown, in part from things they did in the past, which caused them to work with DAA people. And then in translation, they end up in a situation where they themselves take on a lot of the problems that those other people did. But in your case, you're protected. You live in a bubble. Just having okay, now help me out with this. Is this a master's level provider? Is this a psychologist? Is this a psychiatrist? What level are we dealing with here?
My psychiatrist.
It's a psychiatrist, right?
I did psychiatrist.
Okay, that's good.
An MD. She's an MD psychiatrist.
Yeah. Psychiatrist, the one that's going to give you medication as opposed to psychologist. So here's the thing. That's very good. But if you wanted to make this a lot better for the judge, you wouldn't be in a protected bubble all the time. You would be literally interacting with mental facilities because your impairments would be that severe that it pushed you to that point. Otherwise, I mean, you know, you're just going in and talking about how you feel, and they're writing down, well, we believe she's moderate right now. She might be severe sometimes. When she has a panic attack, she's severe. There's no urgency. There's no emergency. And that's a tough thing to win with these claims. And I want to point this out to you because on this remand, one of the first things out of that judge's mouth is going to be, were you Baker acted? When was the last time you were in a facility? Your answer to both of those is going to be never. This is upsetting to you, and it should be, because you've been doing it one way, and that's not the best way to do it. And I hate to say this too, but with mental impairments, the best way to get better is to actually experience tough situations, because then you know what your body is doing at a higher level, and you can treat for those higher level situations. If you weren't pushed, or let me put it another way. You know, there was that classic doctor show that everybody loved. And that doctor would always say, if you want to know what it is and you're not sure what it is, make it worse. That's the same thing for mental impairments. And if you don't push yourself to try and, you know, be in these tough situations, and you just live in your house and you don't go anywhere, even though you said you have insurance, you said you have a car, you know, my brain's thinking, what are her hobbies? Does she go to church? All that stuff. If you don't put yourself in a tough situation, then you are never going to really give the judge what they need, which is a full-on emergency room type visit for your mental impairments.
Okay, so I have hearing next week, and does that mean? I mean, the appeals council. There's actually, they've called a psychiatrist for a witness to explain things, I guess, go over my medical records. Is that a bad thing? Or, I mean, because I'm not going to go check into a mental health hospital.
No, you don't have enough time at this point. You wouldn't be able to get the medical documents, the medical records in enough time anyway. So at this point, that whole argument is moot. The number one thing you need to do is change your alleged onset date to when you were 50, and then basically let the medical expert explain why you are or why you are not. If the judge is bringing in a medical expert, it's either for one of two reasons. It's either to shore up his prior decision to give you another denial, or to bring them in to clarify something in your record. How many psychologists or psychiatrists rather have you seen over the past 3 years?
4.
That's pretty good. Were they all consistent in their writings?
Yes.
That's pretty good. What did they say with consistency?
My ability to stay on pace to remember to I can't remember right now.
Okay. I got you upset. I want you to know this. I want you to be found disabled. Change the alleged onset date to when you turn 50, make it easier for the judge. It's going to mean less money for back pay, but it's going to make an easier claim for the judge. If you get another denial, look at appeals council options. But please, 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 if you have to refile at any point, don't forget that we talked about the emergency room-like visits required for them to understand the severity of your impairments. The game for you is all about, do you meet the listings? Do you meet the griddings? Are you going to get a vocational allowance? Those are the three options.
Well, the emergency room, I have been there, and they've documented the anxiety. There was actually, because I asked for my medical records, so I have it on the CD.
Sure.
And so the ER doctor has put on there, it's, I have severe anxiety. Because sometimes I think I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah. You get the panic attack thing going and poof. Yeah. All right.
So basically, am I going to lose? And I can't go to appeals council again.
Well, you potentially could go to appeals council again, but you're saying financially you can't go. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that, and I thought you could only go to appeals council one time.
No, you could go infinite amount of times. You just have to have a good ground for going each time. Who told you that you could only go to appeals council once?
I can tell my attorney to change my on-date date at 50 years old instead of them treating me like a young adult, which I'm not a young adult.
Well, yeah, correct. Remember, when your AOD is far back in time, they have to adjudicate you from that moment forward, seeing if you were that impaired. And what this sounds like is your attorney set your alleged onset date as like the month after you stopped working. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a shit choice for a claim that doesn't have really good psychiatric evaluation at a mental facility for emergencies. That was a poor choice. Okay? If we're dealing with somebody under 50, I'm looking for multiple Baker Acts. I'm looking for multiple times where they had a mental breakdown, were in a facility. That is what I'm looking for a particular claim. Unless they were an extreme rape victim or something like that, you're having a PTSD situation, but yet that isn't going to fly as well because you had all those years of work and working at a high level with your own business, which means that's not going to go very far. So my point here is this: change your AOD. Go read up on what an alleged onset date is. If you learn anything from this, read up on what an alleged onset date is and change the AOD to when you turn 50. Don't get greedy with back pay. Don't do it. You'll be better off getting a check. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't understand why it's put back to 2013.
You mean the month after the month in which you stopped working?
Yeah.
Well, somebody may have gotten a little greedy on your team.
And that's one thing the judge asked me, why should I go back to 2013? And I said, I don't understand what you're talking about. I can't answer you because I don't understand that question. I don't even know what that means.
Did your attorney clear that alleged onset date with you before the hearing?
No, I didn't even know about that onset date until the hearing.
Nice.
I don't even know why it's there.
All right. There were mistakes made on that adjudication. The judge even made them. More specifically, the writer of the judge made them. But there were mistakes made on this claim. Now that you have a claim that is coming up next week, please, for the love of God, change your AOD. If you get another denial, you can hate me. But I can assure you this, you're going to hate me a heck of a lot less because you gave more effort this time than you did last time. And you made better choices this time than you did last time. And this time you made it easier for the judge to find you disabled.
Okay. So I just changed it because of the grid rules, right?
Correct. Well, it's not just the grid rule. There's
about that.
the rule pertaining to, you know, how they look at jobs specifically for your element 4, the 5-step sequential process. So it's broader than the grid. But that's not. I'm sorry. You're right. Let's just stick with that. The grid rules. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So he could do that before Wednesday?
Yeah. You do it tomorrow morning. You do it, you know, whenever. Do you know what alleged onset date is first? Do you know what that is?
No.
Alleged onset date is the date that you are claiming you became severely impaired under their rules and regulations. So under their rules and regulations, that's the date that you are claiming you became severely impaired. Putting it back to, wait a minute, when did you file?
In 2016. That's why I don't understand why it's in 2013.
Okay, so you can only go back 17 months. Maybe a few more if they do a non-mechanical application ruling, but that ain't going to get you to 2013. You had a dead claim on arrival. That could not be one to begin with. I'm sorry. I love you dearly. We're going to have like soda. I like Mountain Dew. You're going to have something else later. We're going to chat it up, have a good time. We'll go on a fun pony ride that has wings and a boat ride. We're going to have a great time. You're going to bring your cat. I'll bring my dog. They'll both be Shadow. The big focus here is that you need to change your alleged onset date and make it easy for the judge, and then you should be okay with this adjudication. I can't promise anything, but it should help with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Have a wonderful...
At least I got...
Yeah.
I got more direction, more answers than I got from my attorney.
Madam, have a wonderful, wonderful night. Go relax. You have a week in prep. Go watch the top 50 ALJ trick questions. Go watch those 20. I've only put up 20 of the 200 ALJ questions that you're likely to be asked. Please let me assure you, if that ME is coming, that ME is going to be at that hearing for a purpose. And the judge is either trying to make a point out of you, or the judge is going to just use what they say to approve you. It's either or. I don't know what happened in the first hearing. I don't know if the judge was vindictive. I don't know if I don't remember if you were the claimant that said that the judge was short with you. But the medical expert is being brought in with purpose. They're not cheap. Ask your attorney why the medical expert is being presented at the beginning of this hearing.
I asked them, and I got some vague questions and an answer.
Like what?
Because my feeling was he was coming in to testify against me, because Social Security does not want to give me Social Security.
So, ask them again for a more specific reason as to what in the record has prompted them to bring in a medical expert.
Okay. I will do that in the morning. First day.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, ma'am. Have a wonderful night. And if you have any further questions, shoot me an email and we'll catch up and keep the ball rolling.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys. So we are going to be having in the near future the most amazing video. Cheyenne has seen it. She will tell you. Of me escaping a near-death situation involving some Yellow Jackets as part of the Yellow Lives Matter protest that I somehow survived but should not have approached to begin with. When you watch it, smile, because this is something that can happen to anybody. Don't take yourself seriously. Life is beautiful. Make sure you do whatever makes you happy, and the best thing you can do is make yourself happy, make pets and animals happy, and those people around you happy, because it doesn't take much to smile and laugh at their crappy jokes. I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful night. We'll go from there. I need to go take the dogs out and feed them an unconscionable amount of treats. Also, if you get a chance, sign up for spaceconstitution.com, the future rights of the human race. Anybody can add a right. I'm still building it. I still got to fix all the bugs, but go hop on there and sign up. I'll catch you guys later. Have fun. Bye-bye.